Okay, HRS Pro V10, the temp jobs, timesheets, and back office information, how we manage all that within the database. So firstly, it's create a job, which you can do from going to the job file, but I'll go to the company file, pick a company, go to the jobs tab, press the plus button, and I've created a job. It's linked directly to ABC Tires, and David Beckham's the hiring manager for this particular job. So I'm going to create a reference number, and then I'm going to give it a title, so we'll say analyst programmer, and it's accountant finances. We have a reference number which the client may have given you, but I'm just going to make one up, and we've got to label this job, of course, as a temp job. So that's the information there about the, or brief a bit of information. On the left hand side here we've got the information about the permanentness of the job, if it's perm information about the job, and on the right hand side here we've got the temp information. So we'll click on the editor and we're going to put in a buy rate for this candidate of £45, and we want to make a £25 margin on this, and just enter that information by clicking on the button, and it appears in the temp editor. There are 4 different rates that you can add to a particular job, so time and a half, 2 times, 2.5. You can make these up yourselves. It's literally just a calculation, and they obviously will apply to the back office section if you're using timesheets and people are working overtime. I'm going to set it as an hourly rate under PAYE, and I'm going to put a start date of, well, Monday, this particular Monday, and an end date 2 months down the line. So we've got a little bit of information stored there. I'm now going to go directly to the placement tab, and I'm going to create a placement for this particular job. The job activity with the automated workflow is in another video, so I'm going to skip that whole part and just go directly to the placement. So I'm going to create a placement, continue with this. I'm going to firstly find a candidate. We put this chap in earlier, which is me. And that information will now be recorded in the job activity of that job. Automatically sets it as offer accepted. I'm going to go to the placement and import in that candidate. So we've automatically just created a placement that's gone into the system and logged it into our placement section. I'm going to say that it's not pending anymore, it's been confirmed, so I've changed the status. And now I'm going to go and create a contract which will allow me to create all the timesheets relating. So click on the contract section. It puts in the information about the job. Obviously this may have changed. The actual start date, so I'll say yes, the actual start date is now the 5th rather than the 3rd because we've missed the beginning date, and it's still 2 months down the line on the 11th, the 5th of 11th, when it's going to end. Any other information that you want can be sitting here. You can create monthly timesheets or weekly timesheets. And you can extend a contract. You can also use the text and create a PDF contract here that can be emailed to a client directly using a particular template setup that we have in the database. The purpose of this demo, I'll just go straight to the creating of the timesheets. You've obviously got rate details here, so you can play around just like you could earlier from the job, and then any timesheets that have been created will also be sitting there. So let's create these timesheets by clicking on the Create Timesheet button, and it just literally tells you that these timesheets have now all been created, so they're sitting in the back office section. So we'll come out of here and we'll see that we've got a particular contract against this candidate. In the timesheet section, there we are, the weekly timesheets have all been created. Of course they haven't been filled in and they haven't been invoiced. So they sit in the job file, and they'll just be totaled up as the information starts picking up on a weekly basis. If we go to the candidate that we've placed, let's go to the candidate tab, click on the triangle, it takes you back to that candidate. We'll notice that this particular candidate has also got those timesheets linked against his name, and a copy of that contract as well sitting against their name. If we go into the job activity of that candidate, we'll also see which job it was, the ABC analyst programmer, that this particular person has accepted a job for. So when the administration person comes in on a Friday morning, a Monday morning, they click on the admin section, then go to the back office links, choose the back office, and we're now into a section where they can now invoice all the timesheets. So there's 3 or 4 different areas here. If you were a search company, you'd use the retainers. If you're just an ordinary contingency recruiter, you've got your placements, and you can add any expenses as well that relate to any placements from here as well that can be invoiced. So very simply, we're going to choose this week, which is the option that I've got set up here. Obviously you've got previous weeks as well, or you can choose your own dates, or you can show all dates. If we show all dates, you'll see there are masses of other timesheets there. So choose this week. Here we have the timesheet that was created for this particular week for the job that we've just filled. I'm going to go ahead and enter some information here. So I choose the week beginning. These are the various rates that we had set up. So we'll just choose rate 1, which is obviously the £45. And all we have to do now is just put in how many hours this particular person worked at that rate. So we'll say they did 35 hours at normal, or let's say 40 hours at normal rate, but they also did at time and a half, they also did, let's say, five hours extra overtime. And that information is now populated against that timesheet, and you'll see that the totals have added up there, the total buy and the total sell rate. When we're happy with that, all we do is click complete, and that particular timesheet will now be sitting in the timesheets to invoice tab. There it is, and all we need to do is click on the create invoice. We've got a choice of doing as a lot of invoices if we want in one go, adding them to one invoice, or each timesheet having an individual invoice. So I'm going to tag the invoice that we're relating to, and then just click on the create invoice button, and an invoice has been generated in our back office system. It's really that simple. If we now go back into our candidate section, we'll now see that the timesheet for that particular person has been filled out, and we've got some figures. If we go to the job file that we were looking at relating to this particular candidate, we'll now see that we have an invoiced timesheet for that week, and the totals have been adding up as to how much money or profit this particular job is making on a regular basis. And that's it.